Hey everyone, and welcome to Darkson Gaming. My name is Chris, and in today's video we are going to be doing my very first tier list. And the way I'm going to sit there and go through this tier list is going to be based upon all of the units that have released in the year 2020 that are Dokkan Fest exclusive units. So I did not include LRs that were going to be in that, and I'm not including any of the other support units or other banner units that had come out with those. I'm going to plan on doing separate videos for those two categories for the year 2020. So these are always pretty exciting, pretty interesting, and kind of crazy just because of the fact that you never know how things are going to go and what people are going to think. So I am pretty sure this is going to be a little controversial, and I'm sure people will very much disagree. Some people will very much agree. So we'll find out how things go. But otherwise, it's the very first time I'm doing this, so I'll kind of break down why I put people the way I did. Just kind of to start everything off here. Okay, I have a total of 13, and what we're going to do, those are all the different units that, again, like I said, that are TURs that came out and have everything. So we're going to just start everything off right away with number 13. And number 13 right here is the Super Intelligence Gotenks that is transforming and goes from Gotenks to Super Gotenks to Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. He was last just simply on the standpoint of he just didn't seem like he has much replayability. Some of the things I looked at was their ability to help out the teams that they have, their main leader skill, because that's obviously a main reason why you pick them when you decide that you want to actually go and summon for units and things of that nature. Not to mention what some of their passive skills are and how good they are by themselves, because that's one thing about a lot of these units is they are good if you turn around and say, hey everybody, let's get everything together and put them on their absolute best teams. There's a lot of people that are going to outshine other people. But when you have them as standalone, how great of a unit are they, or are they a support type? So, but with Gotenks, I just really didn't think that he had a whole lot kind of coming for him. Even when you get through some of the different changes for him to be able to change, here having that 50% chance of a higher attack and 50% chance again of another attack of 50%, then a high chance of 50% defense, and an additional high chance of another 50%. I mean, there's just too much RNG that goes along with it. He's too unpredictable, and I think that's a big reason why I had to turn around and just have him last. I mean, it really wasn't much. Now, when you get to his final state, attack and defense plus 100%, plus an additional attack plus 100 when he's attacking, and then the key plus 3, and then a great chance of launching another super attack, but that's only for 4 turns. So then he loses it, and it's only a great chance because it's a realistic chance that you won't ever get that. So, that's the reason why he ends up being last. So next is going to be this Bardock. Now, this Bardock I actually thought was a really good unit, especially if you have a Wicked Bloodlines character that you're going against. His low-class warrior boost, that was a great boost for all those units, and then that revenge category I thought was a pretty decent category. Being able to turn around and have some additional boost because you're running with low-class warrior allies, but especially when you have it specifically with Wicked Bloodlines, and I kind of wish that they would do this a little bit more often. I'm cool. There are so many units now that are doing different things, and I think they really need to start coming out with units that are like this guy, kind of like the free-to-play intelligence Final Form Frieza, that when he goes against the Goku's family team, he's like just super stacked. I'd like them to start doing that. Like when you're going against a specific unit or you're going against a specific category, they are broken against that category, but otherwise they're just okay. I think we could start going to that. There's enough units in the game. The game has been around. We could start having some of those things go on. But once he transforms, I mean, he attack at 180%, defense 100%, and effective against all types when attacking an extreme class enemy, so that helps. But then you turn around and you have that opportunity to perform a critical hit with a chance of evading enemies for 5 turns. I mean, again, it's turn restriction, so that does kind of hurt him. And then also the fact that if you're going against Wicked Bloodlines and you have everything built around him, he is just very good. But the fact that he's able to turn around and just not have all those things right away. Now, one thing that could have probably helped him a little bit more is if Revenge and Low Class Warriors was like 170 across the board, or if they went ahead and did something crazy with the Low Class Warriors and gave them like 200%. Just because there's a lot of people, you're not going to run those Low Class Warriors together. They're going to have to come up with a leader skill for Low Class Warriors that make them viable. Same thing with like some of the Dragon Ball units. That once they start coming out with a Dragon Ball leader, they're going to have something that's just really, really devastating on that. Alright, so number 11, Future Gohan. So this Gohan's, he's good, but part of his problem is that for his transformation condition to work, you have to have Trunks on the team, and then you have to be at with 50%, 58% or more starting from the 4th turn. So it's not a horrible transformation with that part, but as soon as you say that you have to have Trunks on the team, it does make it a little more difficult. So he's very much like, okay, Hybrid and Bond of Master and Son, or excuse me, Bond of Master and Disciples. So it does make it a little more difficult when you're turning around trying to get some of that. But the fact that he is able to give Ki +1 and attack and defense plus 30%, that is very good. Then the 58% damage reduction when you have less than 58% health, that also comes in very handy. And then transforming, continuously raising attack is always a nice ability. And then he keeps that damage reduction, and it doesn't have, you could be at full health and he's going to keep that. So that's really good. And then he gets actually the Ki +1 and attack and defense plus everything. And again, when you have the going against the android category enemy, he does get an additional super attack. So again, he's kind of pigeonholed a little bit for his greatness and not able to get everything to kind of go through, which really was good. I mean, he really should have had that ability to really kind of go crazy and go off, because that makes sense, because that Super Saiyan Gohan was pretty great in the Future Saga. So pretty interesting, but you know, gotta put him up somewhere. So he ended up right here now for the top 10. Alright, so I have Super Saiyan 2 Goku Angel for number 10. Yeah, again, Otherworld Warriors, not a great category right now. The 170 across the board is nice. Super Saiyan 3, 150 across the board, that is a nice boost. He's got some pretty decent aspects on that. But the fact that his defense and attack, everything's all based upon HP, and he's the exact opposite of Vegeta that he came out with. But when only facing one enemy whose HP is 80% or more starting from the 3rd turn, he will transform in some longer events, because as soon as you beat an enemy, like let's say you're playing in the Legendary Goku event, and you could be on the 4th or 5th turn, whatever it is, but as soon as the next enemy comes around and you beat that level, and then the next one comes up, then he will trigger his transformation. So, but if he's off of rotation, then he's very difficult to be able to have him finalize on that. So it can be a little tricky. I've actually had times where he doesn't transform. But then you actually have once he does transform, again, he's pretty good. He's got that great opportunity there for evading enemies' attacks, and then also everything's kind of based around key spheres, which this year was definitely a theme. And trying to get enough people around him with either rainbow key spheres or having an ability for intelligence key sphere change, it kind of made his kit, I felt, a little more difficult for him to be able to go off. Not to mention, yeah, he's able, when he transforms, he's still going to be hitting, a 2 or 3 million attack stat, but I just kind of felt like he didn't seem to gel very well compared to what some of the other units were able to do. Android 13. Now, I really liked Android 13, and I thought Android 13 was really good. The biggest downfall, which I think if he would have had an active skill for his transformation instead of his transformation automatically happening on the 5th turn, he would have been up higher. Because if him having the ability to be able to give androids another Ki +2 and attack and defense plus 30%, I mean, it's very easy to run a full androids team with basically giving everybody Ki +3 and attack and defense plus 30% or some type of a boost. I mean, they could get very, very crazy with a lot of support. So I love androids. I mean, I think androids teams are actually very, very good. But again, it's just kind of weird. He's got the 130 HP and then attack and defense 170, which is good. That's a nice mix to be able to have, but there are so many androids cards, and that's one thing that I think that does kind of make him struggle a little bit. And then in order for him to fuse, you have to have 14 and 15. Black, I guess it's not 14 or 15. You just have to have 2 other androids characters for him to be able to transform. So on any android's level or any android's team, he's going to be transforming. So you know that you're not going to be able to keep that key +2 and attack and defense +20 or +30%. So once he transforms, again, this is really good. When he's facing a Goku, he just absolutely devastates Goku. And that's the way that target Goku category is. When you're going against the Goku character, which there's always going to be more Goku cards coming out, very, very good. But having that attack and defense +130 plus an additional attack and defense +13% per target Goku allies, and then the guaranteed critical hit when facing Goku's pretty big. But I think the fact that he is not consistent, I shouldn't say consistent, the fact that he is kind of pigeonholed a little bit on that Goku, and the fact that he makes it a little more difficult to be able to come out, it's hard. But the fact that his attacks are guaranteed to hit is very big. I think that if there were a couple more tweaks to him, he could have very easily been towards the top of this list. But it's almost like they kind of didn't want him to be too outrageous. I don't know. It was really weird, and he was really kind of just coming off of Cooler, and I think that's part of, again, the other reason why he just didn't seem like he was missing something on that. Alright, so next we're going to be following up here with the split into good and evil, Majin Buu, Pure Evil Buu. Really like him because of the fact that his Majin power is category key +4 and HP attack and defense +70%. His leader skill actually is really, really good, and if you are running, if you do have the LR Gotenks, I think he's actually the better unit to run as your leader because of that. And then you can turn around and bring another Gotenks in as your friend lead, and you're going to be set. I mean, he does a lot of different things. He's very unique on that. I think it's the fact that also his Link skills, being at Link level 10, is what really has that opportunity to really boost him up much higher. I mean, he does a lot for his category, and that's the reason why I ended up moving him up. I know a lot of people are probably like, whoa, I can't believe you even have him that high, but I think that he is, because of his team and what he can do for his team, it makes a world of difference. And really, once you get to that Super Buu, 220% attack, and then reducing damage by 50%, plus a chance to hit critical on Rainbow Key Spheres, he has that opportunity that he's just really, really a hard hitter. So it's pretty interesting from there. Next, Piccolo. I love this Piccolo. I really wanted to actually have him up higher, and then as I was looking through, I'm like, okay, I can't justify having him be any higher up on this list here, and it's because there are not as many Namekian units that are out there. I think once they come out with, well, one, if they just made Piccolo, he should have just been Piccolo fused with Kami. That should have been the title of this unit, instead of him transforming to become Piccolo fused with Kami. I think that's really where they kind of messed up with him. And Piccolo, there's so many different Piccolos, they need to come up with some reason for him, you know, add a passive onto him that you can have all Piccolos are considered non-unique or something, because I mean, he has that multi-form, or you can have up to 3 units with the name Piccolo in it. They need to have Dende, they need to have a Garlic Jr. is going to be a Namekian. So, I mean, I think once a few more Namekian categories, I think this guy's just going to become a rock star. But he does a lot. He foresees enemies' attack, which is huge, just like the LR Vegito, Strength 1. Recovering HP whenever you're below 77%, that's always good. And then the attack and defense plus 100%. And the fact that he raises defense at a 10,900 max defense when he's rainbowed, that's good. I mean, he's an infinite stacker. And then once he does transform, he has that high chance of stunning an enemy, and then greatly raising attack. And then the fact that he has the 120% attack and defense, reduced damage by 40%, and then the chance to perform the critical hit, and then also recovering 10% HP and again, keeping that foreseeing enemy super attack, I mean, that's just a really huge benefit. Again, I think if he had a stronger category with that Namekians, I think he would definitely be up higher. He quickly could jump up. And if you have him together with Nail, it's just, wow. I mean, you want to talk about a 1-2 punch combo. Those guys are, very few units are better than them. And then we have here the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and the Majin Vegeta. Again, I think Super Saiyan 2 category is obviously one of the best categories that there is in the game, hence the reason why his leader skill is so effective, being at 170. And then the fact that he is able to transform pretty easily again with his ability. It does have him transforming once when you only have one enemy and whose HP is 80% or more. It can happen. It starts from the third turn. You do have to be careful because it could happen at an odd time, but his isn't too bad. For whatever reason, he's able to transform, and you don't have too much problem. But the biggest problem with him is that he goes from being a super to an extreme. So he can't be on so many different teams. Like, that is his biggest nerf, I think, is the fact that that really just greatly hurts him on his ability to be able to say, hey, I could be a top unit. But I mean, he consistently is hitting at like 3.5 million damage. I mean, this dude is devastating. Yeah, he needs some key support. He does not ride solo. If he does not have help, he's not going to be there. But that's where it's kind of different with him. So he's just in that really weird spot. But, you know, still a very good unit. So then you sit there and you think, okay, well, how, you know, Kefla. All right, here's the huge difference with Kefla. Universe 6, I think, is a devastating team, especially at the 170 across the board. The fact that her best friend is a skill orb changer and 50% attack and defense with Kaba at Super Saiyan 2, he's just completely helps her to be able to get those keys, or the 6 or more keys. And then you throw in the other Kefla, the physical one, then you're really just getting a lot of different abilities to be able to have things going on. Infinitely raising attack on every single stage that she's on. The fact that you can continuously start attacking multiple times. A high chance of evading enemy attack, including super attack. That, again, I mean, a huge ability for that to be able to have. And I believe it's 50% if I remember right. Yeah, 50% chance to evade. So, I mean, that's really good. And then the fact that you can turn around and launch an additional super attack, and it could be really huge. And then the fact that she's got that active skill that makes her effective against all types for one turn, and it can be activated whenever you have a Pure Saiyans or Universal Survival Saga. There's a lot of enemies that's going to be able to come through. But I mean, she hits super hard, and she just doesn't stop. So a great unit, and especially if you have the other Universe 6 cards, her team just sits there and goes so well. If you have the Kale and Caulifla LR, and if you also have the TUR in with that, then not to mention all the Kales and Cauliflas that are individually great units. I mean, that team has a chance of just being disgustingly overpowering. But yeah, her support units, the units you run with her, just continue to make her that much better with that Kaba. That really sets her up. All right. So, Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito Zeno. I actually had him up here higher. Yes, it's much harder to be able to run a team off that crossover, but at the same time, the categories that he's on, he has an opportunity to really make a huge impact when he is on his crossover category with Giant 8 Power. I mean, the key +2 in attack and defense +40%, and then the fact that you can evade enemies' super attacks and counter, he just turns around and he starts doing some pretty crazy things. He raises his defense. I really liked him, and I think that he turned around and ended up being a great addition to the game. And yeah, he was a little more pigeonholed again on some of the teams and stuff that he can be able to run on, but at the same time, you run the all Vegito team, you can be on final trump card. I mean, he can be pretty great. So not to mention when you again run him with his other Link partners with Saiyan Roar at that 25% attack. I mean, he gets very strong. So he's just another great unit to be able to put on. I mean, realistically, I could easily just turn around and do any of these as well. I mean, these guys were so close to being, um, there. It was difficult. But uh, man, I mean, you're 4 and 5, you're splitting hairs. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Now, so my number 3, Beerus. All right, I think Beerus, when you put him in his optimal best team and situation, he's number 1. I actually think that he is, because the fact that he consistently can hit, 5, 6, 7 million attack. You throw in his active skill that he could turn around and do, and then you're talking about 10 million attack stat, 11, 12 million attack stat. But he also has that ability of being able to raise your attack and then consistently not have that. And man, it's Realm of Gods. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I mean, the fact that he also can randomly change key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres, and then attacks effective against all types if there's another Realm of Gods enemy. I mean, yeah, again, kind of pigeonholed, and I like that because he can really kind of go through and do some different things. But man, I don't know what it is. Once he gets hit once, I mean, he just really, really a devastating unit. So I mean, I really liked him a lot. But at the same time, he's just been a good card all the way around on that. So, but I do have him at number 3 as far as the top units out of 2020 for Dokkan Fest exclusives. All right, Cooler. Kind of comes down to basically Cooler being number 2 and Gohan being number 1. All right. So how do I make this decision? Cooler is probably he is so devastating. The fact that his Terrifying Conqueror's transformation boost is so good on those units. The fact that he gives Ki +2 and attacking defense +30%, and I don't know, he's just so good with all the different stuff. So many units are both transformation boosts and Terrifying Conquerors. You put them in Wicked Bloodlines, and they match both of those. It's just they're so devastating. The fact that once he transforms against Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans, which is like 70% of the game, I mean, he is not going to stop raising his attack. You can have continuous attacking, and he's going to have a guaranteed crit against those enemies. I mean, he is just very, very powerful, and I think that he is a unit that is going to just be up at the top list for quite some time. You can run him in, and he just is, again, going to consistently get to a 3.5, 4 million attack stack, and then just continue to run the table as he's critting. I mean, when you can crit continuously, that you're just super effective. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you're bypassing everything. You're going to be devastating. Gohan, obviously, I think Gohan is the reason why he's here. Is that he's literally the MVP on whatever team he's on. You cannot showcase him. I think he's better than a lot of LRs. The fact that he's able to just turn around and just tank anything that you have going against him. The fact that you could turn around and become Ultimate Gohan and he gets to keep all of his stat boosts, and then he just is, gonna laugh. I mean, I've seen him where his base attack is like over 1 million very quickly. It's not like, oh, okay, I had to play in a certain situation to get him. I mean, I'm talking about like doing any type of a Infinite Dragon Ball history, or going on to the Legendary Goku event. I mean, he just is non-stop. He is just disgusting. I mean, we asked for an Ultimate Gohan that would be right, and they were like, okay, here we go. Let's just go ahead and just make him absolutely devastating, and having him being able to go through him. The fact that he guards all attacks, and then he has an additional 58% for the rest of battle when guarded. is activated, well, he guards all attacks. He just needs to get attacked once, and then bam, he gets 58% attack. So, I mean, he's just gonna laugh at everyone. I mean, it's just it's just devastating, absolutely devastating what he's able to do. So that's it. That is my tier list. This is the first time I'm doing anything quite like this. So I definitely would love to hear you guys' feedback and let me know what you guys think. I have no idea what you guys will think about it, but my opinion. I mean, it's what I think I have set up here is pretty well. But otherwise, I do plan on doing another one for the LRs that are out. And then also talking about in general, I might even do one that just is lumping together all the LRs together as another tier list, and then maybe even take a look at some of the different banners / supportive units that are out there as well. So that's kind of everything on that. So I hope you guys really liked it. If you guys haven't done so, please make sure you guys are hitting that red subscribe button, and don't forget that notification bell, so that way you're notified every single time I'm uploading a new video. And let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think? What do you guys agree with my list? Do you guys disagree with my list? I'd really love to be able to, I mean, I am completely open on debates on this. Like, I am not, I mean, if someone comes up to me on a debate on something like this and is able to point something out, like, oh, no, yeah, you're right. Like, no, gotta give you kudos for that. You know, I mean, I'm all for that. But this was fun. It was definitely something different. So, hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, but otherwise, that's it. That's today's video, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.